What's she doing out there? So far away. What's she doing up there? Oh, really? Yeah, I saw a picture. I didn't know.
Yeah, we've been out there a couple of times since we moved out there.
And where's Nancy now?
She's still in New York.
So you like,
I know it's good when they're both in Brooklyn. That was an easy trip and nice visit. But I went far enough. At least y'all got yours close by. Very close.
Good evening. How are you? Good. Good.
Same old. Chasing grandkids.
Every time I see it, so we need to get together, go out to dinner.
Love to.
yeah, I think it's been about,
5 years.
no. It was before, Obama was president. We went out to that Apps and Taps place. That stage, whatever it's called. Corner by Paris Theater.
Perth and what it is.
So that was at least 2008. So it's 10. It's going on. Yeah, it's going on what?
Well, Gary came by and saw me in the house one day.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. I did see you for a couple minutes there.
I'm still looking for my seat sometimes when I come.
Same here. Same here.
End of April for a couple of weeks. Otherwise, I think that'll be all our traveling that year.
We're in Italy, just traveling.
No, it's Puglia, the heel of the boot.
The peel of the boot. Oh, heel of the boot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where Jesse's grandparents came from there on my brother's side. My father actually served in World War II right in that area too, so a little connection.
Sounds like a pretty place because it's an empire.
Very Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I keep saying. I want to go to the sister got married
Yeah.
years ago.
Well, we'll be around. We'll be here. No plans to go anywhere all summer. So
We'll be here too.
in April.
Not in April. April we won't.
Yeah, after April, we'll be ready.
All of our trade association.
Really?
Hanging out all over. Jesse's gonna keep working. I saw her postcard.
You always think of good places
Yeah,
too.
I normally print them off, and then I shelf my papers and stuff.
Do you still speak that?
Yeah.
He has either. I love Pete.
Probably snorkel, but I haven't.
I like to
Oh, yeah.
I missed the trip last year. Michael Jennings invited me to go on a 10-day sailing trip in the Virgin Islands.
Really?
He couldn't go. He was the skipper of the boat.
Remember our trip that we went? That was fun. So that's your son? Your
Yeah.
son?
Yeah. He sails a lot out. He lives near San Hospital. He sails a lot down in San Francisco Bay.
It's cold water.
So is Shand out there with anybody?
She's got a boyfriend. He's trying to pursue some of that same stuff too.
Did you meet him out in New York? And they both
He's from Miami.
Oh, I used to have to worry about wearing my hat because you get up like a seal, I command discipline. I mean, I've gone one. Here I am, Jason, I'd worry about my hat.
Going back to tradition and standards, we got away from it.
You could have one when I was in
I was in the parking lot with a convenience store. All boys, issue people.
used to get my, when I was in the police academy.
I think either you have it or you don't.
Credit card.
Really? Well, and that's spirit.
It looked that way. And I wouldn't change it. No. Well, thanks. I'll have to look that up. Well, not too happy with the troops in the subways with the long rifles.
Oh, yeah. Poverty and extreme.
Is that still working? That?
Oh, they moved it, they moved the now she's after, the commissioner's after all the people on board.
What?
Thanks.
As long as you're still mentally coming.
No worries.
I'm still happy.
Retired in like you did.
You're looking good here.
Somebody's nuts. You guys bring doctor's note.
Finding my parents to sign it? Yeah, we're gonna need a couple signatures.
Let's have a few pictures, you guys. Drew, have you met my wife, Shelley?
Oh, yeah.
Saw you guys at the,
How are you?
went swimming over there. Very first time I met you guys. I'm assuming so. We both together on the bay.
I'm sorry.
Strict fade? Strict fade. Yeah. Like 8 months ago. Last summer. I'll tell you. Jeff should be here shortly.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Good to see so many smiling faces this almost spring day. We are missing Miss Harris. Our condolences go out to her and her family in the loss of her brother-in-law. They had the services today. So she will not be here with us, but she will be in our thoughts and prayers. At this time, I will ask Mr. Hinkle to give us an invocation, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance, and I would ask those of you in attendance to please stand as we recite our pledge, again, after our invocation. So, Mr. Hinkle.
Go ahead for a few seconds, please. We ask for your countenance, blessings upon this meeting this evening. Please guide and direct us in making decisions that are in the best interest of our town and its citizens. We ask that you be with those that need your countenance and guidance and perhaps are in need of peace and mind in their lives. We ask that you grant them this peace. We ask your blessing and peace and countenance upon the Harris family, Lena and Kenny, the death of a brother and brother-in-law, and please, God, let them know that he is now with you in heaven, and ask the grief that they are feeling be mitigated with your countenance upon them. We ask that anything that we need, that you see in our best interest and the town's best interest, that you do grant to us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for your participation. Council, at this time, I'll ask if there are any amendments or adjustments to tonight's agenda. Staff?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, if we would, if you all would be so kind, item number 15 on your agenda, if we could move it to 12, everything else in Roman numeral 3, and go down a number, and we will resume at Roman numeral 4 and number 16. So 15 becomes 12. The other numbers, then add a number till we get through that block.
Any other adjustments to the agenda?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, also what now is number 14, or the old 13, they have asked if we could postpone another month. They have also picked up another first place since we first tried this, but they hope to bring back a national award by the time we get to them as well.
Okay. All right. Council, if there's no other changes or amendments, and you agree to those recommendations from staff, I'll accept the motion to amend the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. The next item on our agenda is our consent items. There's several sets of minutes, a approval of high-density watershed permit, as well as a approval for a fee in lieu sidewalk with Shin Farms, the approval of policy 65 pertaining to new board member training, water tank maintenance contract, the amendment of policy 56 pertaining to remote participation, as well as the last, an agreement for a position to purge records. Council, if there's no changes to that, I'll accept the motion to approve our consent items. Is there a second? Second. Motion is made, received a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. In opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item on our agenda are presentations and recognitions. And the first item is number 12, recognition of...
Number 15. Yes, sir. You're right.
Okay, number 12, recognition of Josh Washington, Chief Police, and Emily Watson, Parks and Rec Director. Mr. Watt. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I could have the police chief up and Emily Watson to come up. Just so the council and the public in attendance and those viewing know and understand, we as Troutman are proud of the events that we host and put on. We also, since my arrival, you all have asked that we mandate policies and install certain training to make sure that we are prepared for such things. I would like to recognize both of these two. They are two of several that assisted this past Sunday. We had an unfortunate medical crisis situation to where a gentleman collapsed at the finish line, and in doing so, he quickly faded and there was no pulse, no heartbeat, no breathing. Because of the training that Emily Watson started and one of the many hats that she wore, we have an AED defibrillator that's out in the lobby. The calls were made, of course, for those to respond. Ironically, God was watching after this man, I truly feel, because the chief and I had just got through talking at an intersection, and he was getting ready to exit. And as he got within yards of where this man had collapsed, he was made aware of the situation. He immediately got, once the AED was brought to him, administered it the way it was supposed to be. Fortunately, there's a nurse who could not be with us tonight that we hope to recognize in the future. That was an ER nurse that just happened to be in the crowd. There was also a gentleman that we've not been able to identify who was in the crowd and decided to also participate. And Emily and the chief and those individuals specifically were able to administer CPR and use the AED defibrillator, and it was used twice to bring this man back. By the time he was loaded into the ambulance, sounds very quick, but it was over a period of 10 to 12 minutes from the time he collapsed to the calls to 911 was made. Emily getting the equipment needed, another gentleman ran in and got that. And because of that, this young man, I say young, several of us went to high school with him, so a seasoned man that is still young. I haven't talked to him in decades, but that day he survived. When Emily was able to talk to, I don't recall if it was him or his family member, a few days afterwards, there was some confusion and disorientation, of course, as to what happened. But once he got most of his faculties back, his first question to Emily was I first or second or third in my age group? So we appreciate his looking at it that way, but I also, and both of these individuals, as you all know, do not like to receive recognition. Both of them this whole week, once the word got out that we would do this tonight, said, no. We did something that anybody else would do. The simple fact of the matter, as I explained to them both again this evening, no, there were a lot of people there who did not do these things. But because of the policies and procedures of our training that Emily had put in there, because of the chief being put there at that situation, there is no doubt in my mind that we have other employees, had they been there, would have responded accordingly. But the simple fact of the matter is, these two were God's angels placed before Mr. Millsaps, and because of that, he is living today. And I would like to recognize them in front of you all and those in attendance for their life-saving situation. But thank you.
Before you go sit down, just so that I can embarrass you both more, I would like to present this award in recognition of your outstanding and emergent efforts in performing a life-saving act. On behalf of Town Council and the town of Troutman, we appreciate what both of you do every day. I know you feel like this is something that you should do and you would have done. We would agree. But you do extraordinary work, and life-saving sounds like it's not beyond both of you. So we thank you both for what you do for us. Let me present this to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Outstanding recognition. The next item on our agenda is another recognition of our Town of Troutman Employee of the Month, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I enjoy these. I'm going to turn it over to Lynn Hare, our Planning and Zoning Director, so she can speak to the volumes of this employee for this month.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, it is my honor to announce Andrew Van Treska is our Employee of the Month. Employee of the Month is actually an award that Andrew could probably win every month. He deserves it. He consistently goes above and beyond when it comes to serving the town. He's been with us now for about 2.5 years, and I've seen firsthand what an asset he is to us and to the town as a whole. He provides excellent customer service to our residents and to our development community. I hear comments often, probably if not daily, weekly, that Andrew is prompt, he's professional, he gives excellent advice and provides helpful information. He does it with kindness as well as with a touch of humor. Everyone here at Town Hall, I think, can agree that we appreciate his sarcastic streak and his ability to lighten the mood, which he does quite frequently. And he has a tremendous amount of transportation experience. For those of you who don't know, he is the vice chair or serves as the vice chair of the CARPO Technical Coordinating Committee, and he has really helped the town in acquiring several grants. One of those, we were able to use those funds to create and draft a new mobility plan for the town. We then took that plan and applied for further grant funding, which Andrew was instrumental, really integral in getting us those funds. But we're going to be able to improve the intersection down here at Old Mountain, Murdoch, and Highway 21. And he helped us get that $2 million. So I just want to say thank you, Andrew, for putting us in a great position as a town to acquire these transportation funds and these grant funds, and for showing up every day and doing your job well. So I just wanted to congratulate Andrew.
I would like to really add to what Lynn said about Andrew, and I was with Andrew last night at a Lake Norman Transportation Committee meeting, and I could tell that Andrew has not just made an impression on the transportation network in Troutman, but also this region. He is counted on by a lot of folks in this region for his knowledge and experience. And there's much more to come, and glad we have him on board. So thank you, Andrew, for what you do every day. The next item on the agenda is recognition of C.R. Ansrud in receiving the North Carolina Chamber Award. Some folks know I travel quite a bit, and I'm always pleasantly surprised when someone talks about the town of Troutman. And I was at the North Carolina Chamber's annual meeting, several hundred folks in the room, and they were giving out awards. And one of those awards popped up and it said C.R. Ansrud. And I'm going to everybody at my table, that's Troutman. And they mentioned Troutman, and but they really talked about the fact that C.R. Ansrud does some extraordinary work. I won't steal any thunder from Tom Ansrud because he's here, or the team, but I'll let them share a little bit about what this award is. But I'd like to read the award recognition that we'd like to present to them first. So, Town of Troutman Certificate of Recognition. On behalf of the Town of Troutman, Town Council, Town citizens, and the greater Troutman community, I, Mayor T. Ross Young, hereby recognize C.R. Ansrud in receiving the North Carolina Chamber Award in the medium to large business category for the title of the coolest thing made in North Carolina. And so I'll let them talk about it, but it was wonderful to hear that they're getting that recognition for the great work that they do. So I'd love you all to come up, and I'd like to present this to you and allow you to have any comment you'd like to make.
Mr. Mayor, we're going to have a video link before he comes up to
Okay.
see you all.
Well, that's what we do in the big white building over here, is we make the big white machines. We make cool stuff that makes cool stuff. And there's a decent chance your kitchen cabinets were made on our machine, a lot of the furniture in your house. You fly in an airplane, big chance that a lot of those parts were made on our equipment. Everything from hypersonic missile nose cones, a lot of aerospace and defense, and it's all right here in Troutman.
Awesome.
American made. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, just, we received the award because of all the great people that work at our facility, many of which that live right here in Troutman or the surrounding cities. So we appreciate everybody that helps us make the great products that we help ship all over the world.
And I will say Troutman has been fabulous to work with since we built the building in '05, and we moved in with about 30 people, and now we're 230 people, and get the other building done, it'll be another 100 people. So,
Congratulations.
good stuff going on. Lots of fun.
Drew's our marketing guy. Drew did a lot of the work to make all that come together for the coolest thing.
Awesome.
One more, Mr. Andre. Thank you.
Again, great recognition for an awesome business in our community, growing jobs and families, getting an opportunity to stay close to home, be right here. Absolutely something that we love to see in Troutman, and people who can live, work, and play, as we say, right here in Troutman. So thank you for what you all do. So
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, to add to that, as Tom and family and I've known each other more than years, have been kind to us at times, I guess, but just from where the business started at the corner of Houston Road and Main Street, as far as Troutman is concerned, that's where it started. And then from them growing to where they did and having the vision that they did, and Tom, I realize it has been a family affair from when Charlie and Sons started it. However, and not to single any of the others out, but Tom has always been the one that I've communicated to and with decades, and the insight to start something from just selling parts to creating and making the machines, and understanding how valuable that was, not only in North Carolina but across the world. And they truly are a global company as far as people seeking their products. But good things do happen to some people, and because of several members of the family, and Tom not just being satisfied to sell parts, but to have the vision to create and then help our community grow at the same time. A lot of these folks he have hired are from other states because of their expertise, and in a couple cases from other countries, because they are so valuable to the business. And to that, to echo your comments, it truly is the coolest thing in Troutman that they're creating.
awesome.
And Duck and I have known each other since, who knows?
I'm sorry about that, but
It's always been good. I think we met at Skipper's one time.
yeah. He knows I'm messing. All right, good stuff. Thank you again. So the next item on the agenda, and Ms. Armstrong, you all don't have to stay for the entire meeting. You're welcome to be excused. The next item on our agenda is new business. First item is an annexation request, AX 2403 contiguous. The applicant, I can't get that name, Boysen, 4.1 acres. The pins are located in your agenda packet, located at 398 Hemi Drive. I will now open this public hearing and turn it over to Ms. Hare.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you stated, this is a voluntary annexation request of 4.1 acres. The applicant is Salil Boysen, and the property currently is zoned Troutman RS. The property is located by address at 398 Hemi Drive. This is a contiguous annexation, and staff is recommending approval of the request. We will also hear the associated rezoning that's part of this annexation in the next item on your agenda.
Any questions for Ms. Hare? Anyone here from the public like to comment on this annexation request? If not, I will close this public hearing. Council, you've heard from Ms. Hare regarding the request. We will now consider the adoption of ordinance 0724 titled an ordinance to extend the corporate limits of the town of Troutman, North Carolina contiguous. Is there a motion?
I will so move, sir.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a rezoning request, RZ 2403. Applicant is Salil Boysen, 4.1 acres. The pins are in your packet agenda. Located at 398 Hemi Drive on the east side of Rumpel Street from Town of Troutman Suburban Residential to Town of Troutman Town Residential. I will now open this public hearing and turn it over to Ms. Hare.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is the rezoning portion of the annexation that was just approved. It's the same property owner, Mr. Boysen. The property, he's the applicant and the property owner. The applicant's requesting that this property be rezoned to town residential. This is a traditional rezoning, so no site plan was submitted with the request. And again, the annexation's been heard and the property is 4.1 acres in size. On your screen, you can see the property there highlighted in red. It is off a little road called Hemi Drive that accesses the property, but the main road that will access it is Rumpel. This is our current zoning map. The property is highlighted here in green, which is the RS Town Suburban Residential. The yellow here is the town residential. The applicant also owns the adjacent properties in this area. He does intend to develop a by right subdivision there of about 18 lots, 18 units. This is our future land use map, which shows the property is medium density residential. A couple years ago, when we redid this map and changed the density of medium residential to 2 to 3 units per acre, we also assigned some zoning classifications that match this density, and the requested RT is one of those. So what the applicant is requesting is in conjunction and compliance with the approved future land use map. Oops, sorry about that. The planning board heard this at their last meeting. They did recommend approval of the request. Staff is also recommending approval based on the fact it does match the land use plan in terms of density and in terms of number of units and where it's located in the town. So that's the end of staff's recommendation and presentation. The applicant is here this evening as well if you have any questions of him.
Good, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Hare?
Leanne, there was one that voted against it, Mark, Michelle. Can you give us a reason, or did he give a reason, or you just voted no?
He did not state a reason when he made his motion, sir.
Other questions? Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Okay. Would anyone here from the public like to comment on this rezoning request? Okay. Hearing none, I will now declare this public hearing closed. Council, you've heard from Ms. Hare regarding the rezoning request. We will now consider adoption of ordinance 0824, titled an ordinance changing the zoning classification of the after described property from Town of Troutman suburban residential to Town of Troutman residential. Is there a motion regarding this adoption?
Mr. Mayor, I will also make that motion, sir, to adopt the ordinance changing zoning classification of the after described property from Town of Troutman suburban residential to Town of Troutman town residential, and that is ordinance, proposed ordinance 08-24.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion is made, received a second. Any other question or comment? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. The last item that we need to address regarding this rezoning request is the approval of a statement of consistency, and I would ask that you read the full statement. Is there such a statement?
I'll read the statement, sir. Rezoning to town residential is consistent with the 2035 future land use map to allow appropriate medium-density residential development at this location. The request is consistent with the currently adopted Unified Development Ordinance. The request is reasonable and in the public interest as it proposes to allow residential development in areas of Troutman where it is appropriate.
Is there a second to the statement?
Second.
Motion is made, received a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a text amendment, TA 2401, to amend the Article 5.3.2 parking provisions of the Troutman UDO, moving Section K to the newly created 5.3.3 maintenance section. I will now open this public hearing and turn it over to Ms. Hare.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a very simple request. Just to give you a little bit of background of why we're asking or coming before you with this request this evening. When we were looking through our parking section of our ordinance, and this is a section that our code enforcement officer deals with, we discovered that there is a section in there that did not quite fit. Article 5.3.2 really talks about new parking lots, and everything within that section only applies to new parking lots. We wanted to be able to make sure that all parking lots in town were being maintained. So we are recommending this evening that that section K that talks about maintenance just be removed from 5.3.2, and that a new article be added of 5.3.3, and then the language surrounding the maintenance of the parking lots just be moved into that section so that we can apply it townwide. So that's the request by staff being made, and the planning board also heard this and recommended approval as well.
Anyone here from the public would like to comment regarding this text amendment? Any questions by council for Ms. Hare? Hearing none, I will declare the public hearing closed. Council, you've heard from Ms. Hare regarding this text amendment. We will now consider adoption of ordinance 0924. Is there a motion?
Sir, I'll make.
By all means, by all means.
Go ahead.
No, you're on a roll.
Sir, I'll make the motion that we adopt text amendment TA-24-01 as presented.
That would be
Amend Articles 5.3.2, parking provision of the Troutman UDO, moving Section K to the newly created 5.3.3 maintenance.
okay, great. Is there a second to the adoption of the ordinance? Any other question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. The last item on the text amendment is approval of statement of consistency. Please read the statement in full. Is there such a statement?
I make a motion regarding consistency of this action. This text amendment is consistent with the 2018 strategic plan and the Unified Development Ordinance and reasonable and in the public interest as it is consistent consistent with the goals of the Troutman strategic plan.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item is the consideration of appointment of Mr. George Harris to the Design Review Board for a 3-year period. I'll turn it over to Ms. Hare.
Yes, sir, we do have an opening on our Design Review Board, and Mr. Harris has applied for that opening and that position. Per our town policy, the applicants do need to appear before the board that they're applying for. Mr. Harris did do that at last month's meeting. The Design Review Board has recommended that he be appointed to that board, so that I'm bringing their recommendation to you this evening.
Shouldn't he be here so we can drag him through the mud?
He should, I agree.
Considering he's not here, and some of you do know him, is there a motion regarding this appointment?
May I ask before, or whoever wants to make the motion, can you give us the exact terms of that 3 years, from when to when?
It's just 3 years. It would start immediately.
Immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we approve the appointment of George Harris to the Design Review Board for a 3-year term.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay. The next item is public comments. You are invited to address the council with comments or concerns, limited to 3 minutes per individual. Speakers must sign in at the podium and adhere to policy 51, which is policy governing comments from the public to the town of Troutman. Again, those comments should be addressed to town council. Anyone here would like to address the council? Okay. All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is elected official reports and comments. I'll start to my left.
Just resonating the continued success of the Sprint in the Spring and different 5Ks that the Parks and Rec Department is putting on and Emily heading up, and also the efforts, the life-saving efforts from the town employees and also a few citizens of the town. I was present for it. It was kind of tragic to watch it happen, but really grateful that the town was trained and able to help revive the gentleman.
Thank you, Mr. Jarozinski. Appreciate that. I did see you out there running, by the way. I did observe.
For a little bit.
Yeah. Mr. Now.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to wish our citizens a happy St. Patrick's Day coming up this Sunday, and I think the following 2 weeks, happy Easter to all our citizens and residents.
Thank you. Mr. Hinkle.
Well, I just want to once again congratulate our honorees tonight, and also the recognition of Emily and Josh in the Life Saving Award, and of course Andrew with his hard work, continued hard work for the town, and very much appreciated. And thank you, sir, for what you have done, and we look forward to many more things that you will do for us, and I'm confident they will get done. I'm looking forward to it. Along with now, wish everyone happy St. Patrick's Day upcoming, and Easter and so forth, and I hope everyone has a very pleasant next several weeks until we meet again.
Yes, I just echo everything that's been said so far. Don't want to repeat too much, but just lovely time of year. If anybody hadn't had the chance to visit our park, it is just alive and well. It's fun place to be, a lot going on, maybe a little bit too much for the director, but she's not here. But yeah, it's, cause I know a lot of ball practice, you know, a lot of stuff, a lot of great time to get the kids out, get them out in town. So I know we have been definitely taking advantage of that. So, but I would love to say, Vasily, of course, she's not here, but of course, everybody involved with the town staff that's keeping our greenway, keeping our park nice and clean, and we are ready for the high season. So excellent work. Thank you.
Thank you. Would like to just comment as have been said. Appreciate all the work that staff does all the time, and again appreciate Chief Watson and Emily being there, present for the gentleman. I don't want it to overshadow the fact that the Sprint in the Spring was an awesome event. I don't know what the count was. It was a lot of people, and so I heard a lot of good things about it, and I know a lot of folks had to pitch in and help and make that event what it was, and so again, appreciate everyone pitching in to make that event a real positive one, albeit the situation with the gentleman, Mr. Millsaps. Also like to wish folks a happy Easter. Please be safe and enjoy the holiday. For those who will get the opportunity to celebrate the birth of Christ and the resurrection as well. So I would also just mention we had a great retreat. I said retreat, not even I said that. Strategic planning meeting, and the staff did a great job of providing strategic plans for our town upcoming, and again, I want to say publicly, I appreciate the time and effort that they put into sharing their thoughts and giving council an update on what's going on in each one of their departments. And so look forward to continue to work with you all in 24 as you continue to do great work for the town of Troutman. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Wyatt for any staff comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple things that you all said, as Councilman Oxer said, I'm trying not to repeat, but to add a little more context to some of the things, I guess is what I will do. To your point, Mayor, there was over 400 for Sprint in the Spring, and that's other than the inaugural Back the Blue event that was occurred, that's the largest 5K that we have had since that event, or all of them. So that speaks volumes to what the town of Troutman and the staff in the Parks and Rec Department is doing. It certainly does require assistance from other departments. The police, of course, are on hand anytime we have large events in the town. But I appreciate all of them and what they did to make that a success. One of the things I would like to point out that also helped make it a success, it has been a long time coming, is to our south of where the building is located, kind of southeast, if you want to follow the accurate compass, is a parking lot now. The town council years ago had vision of when we do get to that point to where we can afford and hopefully get some federal grants to build the town hall complex, is to kind of keep everything centralized in a location. That parking lot is fixed to be a temporary parking lot. Just like our event Sunday, it was full, and then we had, I would say half of the park was also full due to people using that area to come up for the 5K or 10K. I was going to add to your point, Mayor. Yes, I did see you and Nick here, but I passed you both, even though I was on the golf cart. I did pass, for the record. but we had several that was here, but that also allowed us to continue to have room in the park. The pavilion, one of our employees actually
had reserved it for a birthday party for one of his children. There were some sports teams down there also using it, but by us having this parking lot next door, it certainly allows us to use our facilities and blend with several things going on at one time. So I'm appreciative to all those, whether they were practicing or partying with Austin or in his family or in the 5K. It seemed to blend well, and people likes that atmosphere that was there for all the events. The only thing I am disappointed in is Austin did not invite one of us down for any food, not one.
Noted.
No birthday cake? No.
Not one thing. Don't even come over here and smell it.
Yeah.
Also, to Andrew being recognized, I don't want to beat it down, but I truly don't think that with a lot of our employees, that's one of the reasons why we are doing spotlights, is there is so much criticism publicly, internet, social media wise, when most of those people actually don't take the time to do any research before they start with their comments. Andrew is a perfect example of a typical employee here that is exceeding and trying to do cost-saving measures for us because he is proficient at his duties and his job. That don't mean that he has to be an extraordinarily prankster or jokester. Those are the extra benefits that we get from him. But he has literally, since being employed 2.5 years, is somewhere in the neighborhood of $3 million in projects awarded and or savings by getting the bike ped plan and a couple other things that he has done. Lynn, of course, has supervised a lot of that work that happened. So I don't want to say Andrew's been standalone over there, but at the same token, each of our department directors, when we do recognize these employees, the intent, one, is to showcase what they did for that month. And last month is when we got the award of over $2 million for the improvement of the intersection at Old Murdoch, Old Mountain, and Main Street. And again, it's because of the expertise, and it is greatly appreciated. Also, as I explained the parking lot next door, we are working incrementally. And a lot of times we discuss town business here at town meetings. For whatever reason, people don't want to watch the whole YouTube to hear everything that was discussed, or it's just simply not getting out to the public. But we have been making incremental increases in either services and or staff to meet the service demands from our law enforcement to public works, which led us to our strategic planning session the other day. That's why staff is not going to give individual reports tonight. It's because less than 2 weeks ago, they gave them to you all in a lot more depth and detail. But I think you as council and those that watch the YouTube could see how much our departments have and are growing and how they are responding. Our law enforcement, for example, is the most trained and well-prepared police force that we've had in some time, if not ever. And I'm appreciative of those actions from Chief Watson. Likewise, Kim, our clerk, even though she yells at you all and me from time to time, she has been training Jessica. She looked up like, did he really just say that? Y'all know it's true. Y'all know it's true. But Jessica, she's training Jessica so that we have assistance there in getting Jessica prepared. Lynn, of course, with the planning and zoning, less than 3 years ago, we had a part-time person doing that job. And as you all have heard, in 3 years, we've got 3 total over there now. And while they are maintaining, that still does not, excuse me, give Lynn and staff the time to do all the things that she has on her plate, such as cleaning up our UDO ordinances that were done. As we find them, she and staff are addressing them, but that's an example. Public Works are doing more work in one day as far as meters and verifying things. As Austin told you all, the lead contamination thing that's got to be verified September of this year, I believe, Austin, and he learned about it less than 5 months ago. And every house we have here has to be signed off on as to what they have at that junction. So that's an increase that nobody funds, but it is a service that we need and should provide to our citizens to ensure that they're getting proper drinking water, and whomever built their home at the time may have used materials that's just not the best in the world. And this is why they are doing that, to make sure that it's done. It's not anything in the town system. It's on our resident systems and things that they have had done there. But they also have increased their workload, and that we have miles more water lines and or sewer lines that have to be properly maintained and checked on a regular basis. The pump stations, as you all have heard over the last year, are at the best performance level that they have been since they were installed brand new. And again, I think that's the testament of Austin and his staff and what they're doing. We have also transitioned incrementally, as was the plan years ago, that a lot of the services that our public works was doing, such as general maintenance around the building here or other buildings, and mowing and making sure that our greenways and parks were mowed and maintained, that has transitioned over to the Parks and Rec Department. Now that Emily has a staff to handle those things, and like the bigger towns, when you have appropriate departments appropriately staffed, then attention to detail gets there. I'm not throwing a stone at Austin and the other public works people that was there mowing, but it honestly, when you go from dealing with a sewer issue to jumping on a lawnmower and cutting grass, and which one takes the priority? And of course, over time, we had to fix our essentials first. That's nothing derogatory toward public works, but now we have appropriate staff to that. We have added additional personnel due to one person leaving, which I don't want to quit my comments on a downer, but just to reiterate, we lost an employee because of how the public is treating staff, not only on social media, but also in person at the window when they come up to have various things. That person simply stated, I wanted a job to where when I went to work, I was at work and gave my best. When I went home, I'm not associated with every issue and complaint that they think is happening in the world is so-and-so's fault at the town. But we do have new employees. We have forewarned them that some of the public pressures that are there. Most of our citizens, there's several in this room. Our current citizen of the year is here as is normal. I think she can be the first one to tell you. If she has questions, she has asked, whether it be you all or whether it be staff. There has been a lot of exchange between her. A lot of folks in the community look at her as the liaison because they don't either A, know us or believe how things can be done. So they'll go to her, and Ms. Stark, she'll then come to us and say, y'all better get this right or explain what's going on. And we certainly like to engage with our citizens that have questions, that wish to have meaningful dialogue, and are helping us find the solutions to make our community a better place to live and work. That's all I have, unless you all have specific questions.
Great. Any questions for staff?
I just want to make one comment that you left out. Maintaining of our town-owned right-of-ways was a mess years ago, and they're now looking darn good, all of them. That's something that was sorely lacking, and you've seen to it that that's been corrected, and greatly appreciate that, and so forth. And you know, as I say, much more on our plates, but as we grow, we're taking care of things with the proper staff, and they're being utilized. Nobody is sitting around twiddling their thumbs whatsoever, and all you got to do is look around and see the effects of that, the hard work of all of our staff.
Yes, sir, and I apologize. I talked to every department director here, except I didn't comment on Lou, and I didn't ignore him just because he's a Yankee. The HR is a lot of my friends in the business world say, don't talk to them people. if you do, something bad has happened. But I will say Lou, with our HR, has certainly educated our employees as to different options that are benefits of working for the government, whether it be their 401ks, retirement plans, our insurances, taxes. This is the season that everybody realizes, due to the federal government way of doing taxes, several had to pay more this year than they have in the past because of that. So I didn't want to skip Lou and HR. That's certainly been a benefit to us as well. And I think, if I recall correctly, of the list of things you all told me to tend to, that was one that the mayor certainly within the first year said, is it not time we address this?
Great, thank you. I know you indirectly mentioned our budget guru. Thank him for his work as well. He's about to go through significant change there.
Mr. Mayor, this morning I went into his office and asked him numbers, and he gave them to me. They were not good until I called the police chief in, who had a gun. All of a sudden, he found $1 million we didn't know we had out there.
Also noted.
There's more to that story.
Believe us that we know. No, thank you all for what you do and appreciate that. Anything else for the good of the order?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Oh, she's not here. Second. In honor of Felina Harris, Council Lady Felina Harris, I second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? You're welcome to stay. Get you out of here, Nick. Thank you all.
I'll take half of that number.
I'm about to say,